Okay.
Name that game.
Fierce Deity Mask?
Bro, I didn't even play this game, but I know that you did. So,
Deity Mask.
but it is possible I'm that's not the exact name since I didn't play it, but I think it is.
Okay. Here's the weird thing. I had the stream up on my phone and
Oh,
it paused and now it's back. It's the same link. What is going on?
are we live right now still?
Yeah, we're live. But we're live.
Well, I
But
guess
it's
we
the
can just use the
same,
other link.
but it's the same link. It's the same link. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same link
Yeah,
I shared.
in announcements.
Yeah. Like
Let me click that one
I
again.
can't share a new link because this is the link of the thing.
Okay, yeah, that one's working for me now.
But that is the link.
It wasn't originally, but it is now
What
for
do you mean
whatever
it wasn't?
reason.
I didn't change it. It's the same link.
Well,
All right.
I'm just saying.
All right. All right. Let's see here. So goofy.
All right, third time's the charm on tweeting out this post.
Okay. It's well, to your credit, it's the same link we looked at.
Yeah, it
We looked
just
at
was
earlier.
struggling for whatever reason.
All right. So bringing it back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our stream today. Had a little, interesting shenanigans with our stream today. So just to do a little recap, the stream that was linked earlier, it's the same link, but it was linking to the D&D breakdown stream, which I did earlier today. And here's where it gets a little spicy. No one came to that stream.
I came.
You were there?
Yeah, I don't think you were looking at chat because there were a few people saying some stuff.
I had nothing popping up on my chat. And it said 0 viewers. So I was like, I guess no one wanted to come to this thing.
Maybe you were looking at the wrong stream then.
No,
like maybe a similar
I'm looking at Streamlabs where it like shows.
No, but
like,
you know
what
I mean. Like maybe there was like a similar.
Oh no,
because I saw Glim was there and somebody else was there too.
Okay, well I was looking at it the whole time. It said, it said live. I know how to like use it to know if I'm live or not.
Yeah,
but it said I was live, and anyway, it had 0 viewers. So I was like, okay, well, Friday morning, people aren't high on it. It's
no,
all good.
when I popped in, I think there were like 7 or so people.
Well, what the heck? Well,
so yeah, I don't know.
All that to say, I ended that stream, and then I started the new stream, which is this link. And for whatever reason, it continued streaming the previous stream.
Yeah.
So, which, by the way, I don't even know if that one. Let's see. Oh no, it just streamed twice today. Okay. Man, yeah. I feel bad that I didn't respond to anyone's comments. I literally on my end it said 0.
Were you just looking like at Streamlabs?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, maybe for whatever reason it wasn't like funneling back through, but like on YouTube itself, I could see some people chatting.
Okay, well, I feel bad about that. All right, guys, I would have said hello, but well, if there's
Don't
any
worry.
like overly important details you shared with me on that stream, let me know. But anyway, we're here. We made it. 10 minutes passed. You know,
that's all the time we got for today.
Yeah, just gonna wrap it up. YouTube was like, nah, you still need to talk about Sorcerer more. I was very high on Sorcerer in my breakdown earlier. But anyway, did you watch CR last night?
First half. Man, it was a long first half.
How did you go to bed with the tease of the second half?
I was just so tired, man.
Yeah, okay.
I'm old these days. I'm built different, I guess.
Yeah.
need to get back in the swing of things. But yeah, I still need to see the second half. Did you see the whole thing?
I did. I couldn't go to, I mean, I was super tired. I had a cold too, but I couldn't. Yeah. I just felt like I couldn't end it there.
Yeah, I was kind of I was kind of falling asleep, so I might need to like rewatch the last 30 minutes of the first half even. Yeah. But
it was really fun seeing, without getting into spoilers, just seeing people in chat, in our Discord chat, who have watched campaign 1, just to get to see them kind of relive or re-experience some details. That was kind of fun. It made me kind of wish I'd watched CR earlier. But anyway, Now we got to wait 2 weeks before
Yeah.
our next step, which is too bad.
Yeah. The
So
Nicolas Cage thing was fun.
it was, though. Sam's costume was, as was pointed out,
Horrific.
deeply horrifying. So, which, you know, we talked about Face Off on the stream 2 weeks ago.
We did.
Do you
We
think?
did. That's funny.
Do you think?
We're responsible.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it was us, but
Occam's razor pretty much confirms that it was us. You know?
Yeah.
That's the most logical explanation.
I explained Occam's razor to someone the other day, and they're like, "I just don't believe that." And I was like, "Well, it's not like a I believe it or not. It's just like it's like a concept. It's like a theory, I guess. I guess you cannot believe it. That's fine." But they're like, "I just don't see life that way." And I was like, "It's not like a there's
like
like
a philosophy.
Yeah, it's like there's like a deep history behind it. It's kind of just, I don't know." So people are just kind of weird, I guess.
That's funny.
Well, also in the news, we have the news that Blade is being shelved indefinitely, which to me reads as canceled. Had you seen that news?
Did they like officially come out and say something like that?
Yeah, yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday.
I wonder what's going on with that. I wonder.
Yeah, sorry, I'm laughing.
I was excited for it.
I'm laughing at Glimmy's comment of, "No, the most convoluted answer is most likely to be true." Yeah, you know, there's something weird going on at Marvel. We know they like pretty much turned Daredevil upside down and like started from scratch. On the flip side of here, Agatha All Along's really good, but from what I understand, it's like a rare W in a sea of like very mediocre Marvel I'll say publications, movies, films, what have you.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen any of it yet?
I lost my Disney Plus, unfortunately.
I don't think we have it either anymore.
I was using a friend's, and then they just rolled out this like main household thing where you have to like declare your main house, and so if you use it anywhere else, you'll get like a pop up that's like, did you change houses?
Yeah,
You know?
that's so annoying.
It is annoying.
I hate the streaming services, man. Netflix has ads now.
Is it really?
Yeah, you
That's
can pay more to
crazy.
not have ads, but I don't know. I might get rid of it at some point, but yeah, we've still got it, and they're just ads now. They're not as bad, I will say, like as Hulu. I don't know if you've experienced Hulu, but Hulu has like cable TV ads. Like they have that many. Netflix isn't that bad, but they do have them now.
Yeah, it's funny, not really funny, but these things that were so innovative and like no commercials, what? And like now we're just back to what we had before.
Yeah. What do we get? Like it just goes full circle. We get like TiVo, but for streaming services. You remember TiVo?
Yes. I cut my Netflix probably 2 years ago because it was like I feel like I would always be like in the bathroom scrolling through my email, and I'd always have an email that was like, "We're increasing prices." And there was a point, man, where, you know, bathroom time, sacred time. It's like shower thoughts where you're just kind of thinking about life.
That's right.
It just hit me, dude. I was like, bro, what is going on why am I always getting these price increases? So I canceled it, and to this day, there's been maybe one show that I've been like, oh, I wish I had it to watch it. But I realized how much I don't actually watch anything on it. So
we use it. I mean, we don't use it a ton, but like kind of our routine is like we'll dinner and we'll watch like an episode of a show type of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, we definitely could go without it, but it's just crazy.
Nowadays, there's multiple ways to watch shows online aside from the streaming service.
True. Yeah, for sure. But to cycle back really quick, you didn't see Deadpool Wolverine, right?
I did not for any reason other than my life now. It's just harder to do things when you have kids. You're like, let's go see a movie, and it's like, oh, we'd have to get a babysitter. Like, who do we know? Like, I don't really like that person. They're kind of weird. Like,
you don't want to take them to go see Deadpool Wolverine?
Yeah, probably not. So
I couldn't tell you the last movie I saw before that, and that one, like, I didn't even really like. It was kind of close for me on if I actually wanted to go spend money on it, but
yeah, I think the last movie we saw was Oppenheimer, and that's because we were in Kansas City for the holiday, and so my wife's parents watched The Kids, so we could go watch it.
I still haven't seen that, but I need to because
Oh, that's a
Nolan's like my favorite director.
great movie.
I need to check it out.
Yeah, really good
Well,
movie.
okay, but slight spoilers for Deadpool Wolverine. It's not like a story spoiler, and in fact, like if you've been on the internet, you are aware
Yep.
of this already.
Yep.
But but just warning to everybody else out there.
I'm
But
about
so
to have
Wesley Snipes.
I'm about to have a Chris Farley. What? You know.
But Wesley
Yes.
Snipes' Blade is in the movie.
Yes.
And he has one line that says, "There will only ever be one blade."
Yeah.
So, uh, at the time that came off as like, just kind of like a joke. But I wonder if even back then they kind of knew that, that was going to get shelved or whatever.
Well, I don't know what I saw the other day, if it was the guy who plays Daredevil, if it was that actor tweeting, or if it was like a meme account that was like that character. But
Yeah.
basically it was like the most cursed line there ever was. And then it's a screenshot of him saying that from the movie. And just
Mhm.
basically on the heels of this news that, now the latest iteration's canceled. So
Yeah, I wonder why though. Like I want because Marshala Ali is a great actor.
he
I
is,
was excited for it.
from what I understand, like it's been in like production hell for like 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
So who knows why
I
these
just
people. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say like I feel like why not just even if it's 3 years from now? Like I wonder why the decision to just let's just not do it
Yeah.
as opposed to I don't know.
Who knows why, the big shot Hollywood people make these decisions. If it was up to me, Henry Cavill would still be Superman for me.
Yes.
But
I heard this was just a rumor from, one of those accounts that does stuff like this, but I heard he was in talks with Marvel and was going to be doing something,
good for him.
which, take it with a grain of salt, but I'd be here for it.
I wonder how his Warhammer cinematic universe is coming along.
I know, yeah. I'm not sure, but I would assume well.
Yeah. Okay.
I hadn't heard any like bad news about it, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard he was going to be in like the Voltron movie or something.
There's a Voltron
Like-
movie?
I guess. I don't know if it's animated or what, but
Okay.
I heard some news about that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I didn't know what I thought about the Sonic movie either, but now they have it's a trilogy. Jim Carrey comes out of retirement to do a three-peat on this film.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
I finally saw the first one on one of my plane trips to Iceland, and it was, it was not like a great movie
Yeah.
or anything, but it was like a fun movie.
It's like The Rundown, It's not gonna
Yeah.
it's not gonna win any awards, but you're glad you saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen it. I will say hats off to that, I don't know, studio distribution. I don't know what it is, but how they
Yeah.
changed Sonic's look after it was
Yeah.
panned so much. So
Yeah, good on them.
yeah. Adam Martinez said, and The Witcher. So I'm assuming he's referring to Henry Cavill as The Witcher, which, by the
Yeah.
way, another the person playing Vesemir, I think is his name. Also, he just dropped out of the future seasons of the show.
Oh. I thought they like weren't even making anymore. Like I knew they were like
I don't
there's
know.
one post Cavill with Liam Hemsworth, but I thought like that was the last one. But maybe maybe everybody thought that, but it wasn't like official.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff that is coming or has happened in terms of like shows and productions that I feel like I'm just not as in the loop on anymore. So like that could be true for The Witcher, but
Yeah.
You Begin in a Tavern said, The Witcher never grabbed me as a series, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it was not that good of a show.
Season 1 was good.
Well,
Can we admit
was it?
that? It wasn't okay. It wasn't Breaking Bad. Let's not get
Yeah.
crazy here. Of course not. But season 1 was fun. I thought like
Yeah,
it was.
I would
I
put
enjoyed every moment, like getting to explore that world that I love from the game.
and it's Henry Cavill. I'd say season 1's like a solid B, which to me is
Yeah.
like I'm glad I watched it. It's not gonna like change my life, but
Right.
And I'd probably put like season 1 Rings of Power in like a similar ranking, but not a little bit worse. Though I really
agree.
liked the latest season of Rings of Power.
I know, I've still only seen the first two.
Which I found out Reddit really hates this season of Rings of Power. Turns out Reddit hates a lot of things, actually. I'm discovering. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these shows, they don't have to be life changing, but sometimes I'm just like, we could be a little bit better. So, so not high hopes for the future Witcher season. And we did just wrap up Legend of Vox Machina season 3. Speaking of things that Reddit hates, there's a little bit of drama.
I haven't looked at it.
There are some upset people about Legend of Vox Machina, and specifically, is Bard's Lament the name of the episode, or is it like the name of the arc? Oh, okay.
It's an episode.
So this keeps getting mentioned, and people. I don't know if we want to save this for like our season breakdown or not, but people are not happy about it.
I can't lie, I'm not that happy about it.
Okay, so
I mean, I'm not like.
Were you keyboard
toxic about it
on the CR subreddit last night, or?
No, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes this season, which
more than the other two.
Way more.
Oh wow,
way more. I would have said season 1 and 2. I understood and enjoyed the changes. Season 3, I don't really understand.
Okay,
that's not to say it's bad. Like it's not bad. I just like I really wish we had gotten Bard's Lament, for example, and I don't understand why they wouldn't have done it. Maybe they'll still do it, but that would be kind of weird to me too.
Yeah.
But
this is the first season we didn't get the Will Pixelist breakdown of each episode.
Which I still am going to do. I still plan on doing a couple things now that it's over.
Yeah. Okay.
But I just didn't have the same time like to do the crazy ones that I did last time, which maybe that's a product of why it didn't mesh with me as well. Cause I wasn't like as deep in the weeds on it.
You didn't like being in your dark room for a month, just on the cutting room floor, trying to work past YouTube's copyright strike stuff.
Yeah, it was a joy.
That is surprising to hear there's more changes though. Because I watched your breakdowns to figure out what had changed. And I'm totally green on any of the changes. I'm just like, cool, okay.
And don't get me wrong, I still loved it. I think it's fantastic to get this thing adapted, and I realize there's a change in medium. Who knows what the full story behind the scenes is, if that impacted anything, especially with Sam's health. Which I'm not saying that did impact anything, but for all I know, it could have. So, just a few changes that I just, in a perfect world would have loved to have seen adapted that didn't get adapted. So, probably my least favorite season of the 3. But
wow,
that's not to say it's bad.
Wow, I'm just looking for. Did you read this article from Paste Magazine about it? Like they talked about Bard's Lament specifically.
No.
So
what'd they say?
It's a very long article. And what I'll do is I'll just take this and I'll put it in the chat for people who want to read it themselves. Basically, just cutting to the end of it. The last paragraph, I guess there was a change to Percy's death too, by the way, because they say Percy's death wasn't the only change that was made to the story. At the very end of the season, Scanlan tells Vox Machina it's time for him to depart. But in the original form, he presses the group, asking them what his mother's name, which, by the way, last night I went and found the scene. Very good scene.
Oh, you watched the original?
Yeah, last night, because there's been so much hubbub about it. And then I read this article and thought, let me just see what the original one was. And it was a very well RP'd scene.
One of the best in Critical Role history, I would say.
Wow.
If not the best.
Okay. Well, so it says,
in my opinion.
In this article, it says, in the original scene, Scanlan presses the group, asking what his mother's name is to prove that they know nothing about him. And ultimately, they prove him right. They can't remember his mom's name. But in the show, it plays out very differently. And then Sam Riegel gives a quote where he says, making a TV show is tricky because you want to put it all there, and we wanted to honor that moment. But the season has to end. We didn't know if we were going to make another season of the show, which at the time they hadn't. Amazon had not.
That's another thing I wanted to bring up because I think that probably did play a role as well. But continue.
So Amazon had not renewed the season for season 4. So he says, we didn't know if we were going to make another episode of this show. And the way it worked out, this last scene we didn't want Scanlan saying F you to everybody and leaving, which didn't really feel like a great way to end the show.
Yeah.
So we adapted into something that I think is still bittersweet and holds the intention of that moment. And if we do ever get further future seasons, we have plans to honor that moment, but in a different way.
Okay. See that I can understand that then. Um, but it also just on a not related to the adaptation, but it's crazy to me that like they wouldn't know like how is Amazon like they're already building a whole other show with Amazon and yet they're not going to guarantee them enough seasons to finish Vox Machina, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Um, but yeah, and I'll have more thoughts about it when we talk about it, but
Yeah,
that
okay.
makes sense. That at least makes the decision make more sense to me. But like, I just wish that like the emotional kind of space was given to that instead of the Keyleth kind of focus we got at the end. Which those elements to Keyleth's story did exist, but like largely that whole final part with her and like the scry spell was all invented.
Hmm.
And, Keyleth, like, getting mad at everybody else and leaving, like, "You didn't trust me," and stuff, like, it felt like they kinda just took that from Scanlan and gave it to her,
Hmm. It's
which,
really
again, those elements existed with her as well, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like, why would they, like, spend so much on that and not give us this?
it's so interesting to hear your take on this as someone who hasn't seen it. Because
Yeah.
me, first of all, I'm just watching it like, cool, all right, let's go. But specifically Keyleth, I was like, finally, some like we're eating good on some Keyleth content.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
what my reaction was like,
No
yes.
disrespect to the Keyleth
No,
content.
sure, sure. But I was
Yeah.
like, finally, all I've heard from Keyleth this season is we can't trust her. I'm like, give me some Keyleth, info.
Yeah.
So it's funny how I was like, yes, finally, and you were like, wait, what? Why is this happening? So anyway.
And there was another moment that is also one of my all-time favorite moments that they just I feel like didn't do justice, and it was related to Scanlan and Grog. And so I was already kinda like, "Oh, man, well, I get it." But and so then when that got compounded by not getting Bard's Lament, I just was like, "Dang."
Mm, I get it.
The fix him moment, for those of you that know, that's one of my, like, all-time favorite Critical Role, like, lines and moments.
Oh, it's cool. Well, I think originally they envisioned the show to be 5 seasons. Is that right? Am I
I
misremembering?
I don't know. I don't know if they've ever, like, officially said. I
Yeah,
think maybe
okay.
one time, like, somebody said, "Yeah, we can maybe do it in 5." 5 would make sense to me, but I wonder if they're in the situation where they're not gonna know, like, "Oh, we might not get another season." Maybe they just try to cram it all into season 4,
Yeah. We,
but
we were talking in the Discord about how much content's actually left, and it seems like the Whispered One, which we got the stinger at the end, but the
yeah,
Vecna storyline, as far
yeah,
as what I understood, is the only like main storyline left.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
isn't to say it couldn't take the play, it couldn't happen over 2 seasons. Um, but
Well, especially if they're kind of truncating or changing things related to the Scanlan situation. I mean, everybody did kind of split up at the end, so they could kinda just make it all still work, but yeah, I feel like to me, it feels like they would probably just try to do it in 4
yeah,
now.
yeah, okay. And it also gives a little bit more light to Travis Willingham's comments about Mighty Nine. How like, hey, there might be some differences there. Which
Yeah,
there's been like some back and forth on like exactly like what does that mean, and some kind
yeah,
of nervous people, and it's such a weird place to be in because I felt this way a little bit with The Last of Us. On part of me, and Last of Us is like a top 5 game for me. I've played it so many times. I love this game. So when the show came out, there were certain moments where I was like, I just really want to see that realized. But then there was also this other part of me that was like, man, I was appreciating like when and how they changed things
yeah,
for the live version of it. But I understand people being a little nervous about campaign 2 because I think even at this point, it's the most watched campaign of the 3. It having been during COVID and just
yeah,
like
yeah,
perfect timing, perfect storm, I guess, of
yeah.
situations. But um,
Yeah, I'm curious, especially given how much they shifted things with this. Um, I know I can't remember who said it, but I think, they've talked about, like, wanting to kinda surprise people who have seen the campaigns and tell slightly different stories. So like I get it, especially as like a creative, wanting to maybe take some chances and do things a little bit different and explore
Mhm.
some things you didn't get to see in the campaign. Like cuz I know for sure that like the animatic they teased for Mighty Nine is of something that didn't happen in the campaign. It was like during session 0, for example.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
And I think like I mentioned, changes they made in season 1 and 2, like I really enjoyed. And that's not to say like I across the board didn't like them in season 3, but um I think it's just kind of like a fine line you're playing with, right?
Yeah.
Where you can't please everybody all the time.
Yeah. True. Well, let's move away from this topic just because we're getting towards the end of our stream. Let's go to the game news. So, two things I wanted to share. One, World of Warcraft is in the news today because yesterday they dropped a new mount for purchase. It is a $90 mount, and
What?
it has sold so well that so on WoW you can buy tokens. I love how you're already just stunned hearing this.
$90?
It has effectively sold out because on WoW you can essentially buy gold, or you can sell your gold to buy a BattleNet balance to then buy items in the store. Well, that sold out. You can't buy, and now the price of gold is just like skyrocketing. People are
Oh
trying to
gosh.
convert it to get this mount out of the auction house, but it is
So you
called
can buy the $90 mount with gold effectively?
yeah, right. And it's like a
Okay.
conversion ratio, but now the gold is skyrocketing, and the ability
Right.
the ability to do that is currently limited because they've run out of stock of the tokens because everyone's bought them all.
Wow. What is the
Um,
mount?
it is the Travelers Gilded Brutosaur mount, which
Oh.
Brutosaur was the big dinosaur mount that you could
Yeah, yeah.
buy in Battle for Azeroth. That was like the mobile auction house.
Right, right.
And I had something, I don't remember how much, I think it was 5 million gold at the time, and which was like around $700 back then.
Yeah.
And I remember I had something like 3 million gold or something. And then I ended up having to buy like $200 worth of tokens just to buy it because they decided
Yeah.
they wanted to get rid of it.
Mm.
So this one's $90. And what's really funny about this is it has sold so well that someone's even created a website on, you can look up a character. It said, "Did my husband buy the Brutosaur mount?" Let me see if I can actually pull this up real quick.
Wait, so does it just have it's the exact same functionality?
Exact same thing.
So it just gives you like an auction house
Yeah, and
and
it has a mailbox on it too. But see, let's see if I can like pull this up real quick, and I'll show people on the stream. I think I
so
can.
is it so it's but you can buy it for $90 cash if you want?
Yes, that's right.
So like even right now I could, even though it's
Yeah.
sold out. So
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So here it is for people watching. It's didmyhusbandbuybruto.com. And you put in the server, you put in the character name, you hit submit, and it'll say, you're safe. Well, in this case, I didn't type it in right, but it says
I'm just seeing a black screen just for the record.
should pop up in a second.
Oh, I
right?
see it now.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
probably just delayed.
Yeah. So I can put in my character, Laughing Skull, Souls, and you're safe. Your husband didn't buy Bruto yet. That's because I'm eternally broke. So, but our friend Gherkin, you put in his name. Sorry, your husband did splurge those $90 and buy Bruto. Find a divorce lawyer. And when you click on this, it actually searches divorce lawyers near you.
That's hilarious.
So, anyway, that's the joy of that. But I saw a funny Reddit comment that was basically this all started with the horse armor in Skyrim, or was it Oblivion? I can't remember. But Elder Scrolls, basically.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. But that's crazy. And Blizzard's gonna learn the wrong lesson from this.
Well, I mean, even in like Diablo 4, I was playing Diablo 4 and this dude had an insane mount. And I was like, bro, what's that from? And he was like, Cash Shop. And I looked it up. It was $100. I was
Oh
like,
my
dang
gosh,
it.
dude. Like at least the WoW one gives you some functionality, but still.
Yeah.
I know it's the 20th anniversary right now, right? Is that why they did it?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I guess
Is there anything cool going on for that?
Yeah, they re-released Blackrock Depths as a raid. It's a 15-man
cool.
raid, so that's really cool. They have a handful of like the original dungeons that were in Classic, which is kind of cool. And then all the tier 2 sets they've re-released as like a recolor set. So that's pretty cool.
From like Blackwing Lair?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to do Blackwing Lair to get it?
No, like as you do like different weekly quests and like the raid, you get these tokens that you can then use to buy those sets. So,
that's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Bro, I can't like how crazy is it that it's been 20 years?
Yeah, I should really do
like
something.
I'm just imagining like back in high school when it first came out, like thinking to now would just be like, that's crazy.
I should really do something with my life. But anyway, and then the other piece of news, if I can pull this up.
Pizza news?
Pizza news. Path of Exile 2 on November 15th.
What? This like in a week? Like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Where did that come out of nowhere?
I just found it out yesterday. So
I mean, we know that they've talked about it for like years at this point, but I feel like every time I've heard an announcement, it's like 2026.
Yeah.
Or like
that's what I thought too. But then I was like randomly yesterday, I was like, when's Path of Exile 2? And then it was like November 15th. And I was like, wait, what?
Are you sure it's 2024 though?
Hang on, let me double check. Okay, yes, it is.
Okay.
But it's
we gotta play.
It's early access though. So you have to pay.
You gotta pre-order?
Yeah, you have to pre-order. But then
how much is it?
I don't know. Hopefully like $30 or $40. Like nothing more than that. But bro,
so sorry, finish your thought and then I'll hit you with my questions.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think I'm scared of how hard I may go on this game.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm excited though, because I mean, you know, I've said this to you numerous times over the past like year that like I've kind of had that Poe itch, but I've never actually satisfied it. So I think Poe 2 might be the time. You gonna dive in?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so Poe was free. So this is new. Like there's gonna be a base cost.
No.
Or is it only for like
it's only
will it be free if you don't do early access?
Right. Right.
Okay. So I'm guessing you probably get some other stuff, like you get some like currency item or cosmetic items and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Strange how good this game is to have been free for this long.
Yeah. Well, that's not to launch into it, but like as opposed to somebody like Blizzard, that's like I can get behind the microtransactions for a free to play game.
Yeah.
You know, like I love Poe's model.
But even Poe's most expensive and maybe I haven't played it in years. At the time, the most expensive microtransaction was $30.
Oh, wow.
Which, nowadays pales in comparison to what you see in these other games.
Yeah.
But PoE also had like the supporter packs where you could like design your own unique for $1,000.
Right.
And I think there was one that was like a $30,000 one or something.
That's crazy.
But
did anybody ever buy that one?
I know one person did.
Or can you imagine having that much just disposable income?
I just try to think about what I can afford grocery wise for tomorrow. So no, I cannot imagine. Pretty crazy though.
Yeah. Well, dude, that got me excited. I feel like I haven't been like really excited for a game in a while, like a game release, I mean. So
yeah.
We'll have to dive in, dude.
Excited. I feel like a deep injustice is we still haven't played Baldur's Gate 3.
I know. That is a deep injustice.
We should really play that game too.
Yeah.
And I need to finish Elden Ring.
I have so many games that I need to play. I've been trying to go through shorter ones to at least make some progress.
Yeah.
Like shorter indie games. But I definitely got some AAAs I need to hit too.
Well, finishing up our stream today. Let's see here. We did have a question on the live stream channel. This is from Elitist Jake. Here's a question. Even in realistic worlds like Exandria or my own self-insert Abaili, is that how you say it? I can't remember. You'll find the occasional thing that exists for the pure purpose of fun, and even though it breaks immersion. So like the Taste of Tal'Dorei, for example. It's a place that by all rights shouldn't exist. The Taste of Tal'Dorei sells t-shirts and oven mitts. Have you ever inserted a goofy location that otherwise out of place in the world with good or bad results? Maybe realistic isn't the best term. Maybe serious fantasy setting. I don't think we ever came across anything like this in your world, but I
Um,
know, or did we?
well, if you have an example, go ahead, and I'll think about it.
I was just gonna say in the town that my players are in, there's a store that sells like Funko Pop
Oh, that's
dolls,
fun.
and it's like of
Yeah,
all like the main NPCs. It's
yeah,
like, wait, why are there like Funko Pops of these? And I was like, that's what they got.
that's
And
hilarious.
then my rogue player wanted to steal them. He's like, we have to get one. And I
Yes.
was like, you're just like the collectors in real life.
Bro, if that
So
happened to me, it would be my mission to become one, like to become famous enough or infamous enough to
yes,
get my character his own version in the store.
yes,
Um, the only thing I can think of, which I don't think it would squarely fit into that category that Jake is asking for, but and I didn't really get to flesh it out much, but I introduced it in our campaign, which was the Wizard Pods cast. So it was podcast. And
yes,
it was gonna be like this thing that just happened every once in a while where like this radio transmission came through to one of the players that was gonna serve as like a for me as the DM, like a way to kind of like set up plot threads and like a
yes.
news alert type of thing.
I think I
Um,
might lift that. That's a really good. It's a good way to keep players informed as to. It's a very clever way, other than just like town chatter.
yeah.
You know, I heard this happened 2 towns over, and it's like, what happened? How do you know that? Aren't you like the bread baker?
Lohan?
So yeah, so yeah, that's a pretty good idea though. But I think a lot of these things just happen. I never like plan them. Like when I'm like town building, I'm never like, oh, you got to have the Funko Pops. It kind of just happens for me, like in the moment.
Yeah.
Um, and my other, it's not really like the question, but in one of my campaigns, um, there was like this like rural sea village, and they were trying to get something to eat. And so I had like this kind of burly, like this dude who like ran this inn, but really didn't really want to. He sort of just rented out his space.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What's like the best thing to eat here?" And he was like, "Skilt." They were like, "What's skilt?" And it's basically like the dirtiest fish you could find, like cooked in a pan. But like
Yeah.
from that moment on, like whenever we'd go to a town, to be like, "Is there skilt here?" And then there's like this joke around, like, "Oh no, we don't keep skilt here." Sometimes it happens like in the moment like that,
Yeah.
which is always fun.
100%.
And then last detail about D&D, and then we can start to wrap up. In
Yeah.
my campaign on Tuesday, I had
Oh yeah.
my first ever permanent player death.
Yes.
Like no
I wanted to
backsies.
ask you about that.
So
Um,
very
what happened?
so basically, I like how Legend of Vox Machina and also Matt has done a good job of like not under I don't say like restricting things, but just making magic a little bit more meaningful.
Mhm.
So I had a player who attacked like this really big baddie, and and like level 14 versus level 2, and was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take him on. And I was like, are you sure? Um
Don't do it.
so the baddie did like finger of death or something and just
Oh,
like instantly killed him. It was like
yikes.
disintegrate maybe.
Yeah.
Well, basically I felt a little bad about it. And so I brought that character back through a wish spell from a god. And but the thing I said was, hey, the magic of this baddie is special in that if he kills you, revive doesn't work. You can't revivify someone or resurrect someone who dies from this magic. So what I did instead was I gave him essentially a timetable where I said, hey, by a certain point, you need to have found a greater restoration spell to heal you of like this ailment.
Yeah.
Long story short, it kept coming. Like they were in the situation where like they were trying to get this really important item, but they also wanted to get this greater restoration spell, and they were like running out of time. And getting to the point, there was a moment. He was a Irakokra where he could fly. There was a moment where basically this item and the scroll were both falling like into like a big furnace,
Oh
and
gosh.
he was the only one who could go get it. And I was like, what are you gonna do? And he's like,
Yeah.
and the item was a sword. He was like, I go for the sword. And I was like, are you sure? And like
Dang.
everyone was like, no, are you crazy? No, go for the scroll. And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I go for the sword, because the sword was like this really important item for the whole story. Um, And so I really admired him too, that he was like, I just want to do like the right thing rather than, um anyway, all that to say. So yeah, he had his character died. All right, guys.
Bless you.
His character died, and it was just a very beautiful, sweet moment. And the thing we talked about afterwards was how like stories get so much more meaning behind them when there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
But I know like in your campaign, I was so like, I don't want my character's story to end. So it's helping me kind of mature a little bit, I think, as a storyteller. But it was a cool
Ro
cool ending though.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome moment too, that kind of forced that catch-22.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did he die, like, immediately or
He had been kind of like Evandrin in Calamity. Like
mm,
he had been becoming like
incorporeal?
incorporeal, and like kind of
I don't know
fading.
though.
He had been
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fading a little bit, and so he they all knew he only had a couple hours, and
Yeah.
so he basically like faded away in that moment and like left like a few feathers behind.
Dang.
Um,
Yeah, that's super cool. That sounds like a really, like, awesome moment at the table,
yeah,
and what a cool player to facilitate that type of moment.
yeah. Unfortunately, like
Like
everyone was
yeah.
like locked in rather than someone like on their phone, like what's happening,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, rip.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, dude. Is it my turn yet? Anyway. Well, hey, I think that'll do it for our stream today. A little bit of a longer stream. Thank you all for tuning in today. I guess on the docket, we'll have a recap on Legend of Vox Machina, and we'll have CR at some point. And I'm sure there'll be some more stuff that comes along the way. So just stay tuned to the Discord.
Yep, yep, and, Worlds Beyond sometime soon.
Yep. I love how like we're so like, yeah, sometime this will happen, you know.
It's usually
So
Mondays, but we
yeah.
sometimes we switch it up.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, appreciate you all.